So that's the actual cost, guys, that you will be paying off, and this is the cost excluding what you have already paid to Australian universities. So as I have already told, Australian immigration works on the principle of migration through study. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Omar, and in today's video we will be discussing what is the cost of permanent residence of Australia. So all the information that you would come across in this video is what I have experienced myself, because all the immigration related issues of mine, I handled them myself, be it filing of my 476 visa or 489 visa, or organizing my health checks or organizing my police checks. All of those things I did myself. I did not take any help or assistance from any agent at any step, because applying or doing these things is pretty straightforward, because all the information is available on Australian immigration website. Even if you are going to get your skills assessed, that is also pretty easy, and you can understand the whole concept of it by going on to your relevant assessing authority. Or if you are an engineer, I have already made multiple videos on the topic of competency demonstration report pathway, so you can go on and watch those videos and learn tricks, and also you can have a quick look at my CDR as well to understand how a career episode is written, how a CPD is written, and how you can draft your summary statement as well. So this video is particularly for those candidates who belong to accountancy, IT, or engineering, because I'm an engineer myself, and these three fields, they are subjected to pro rata arrangements. What it means is that the cutoff points of these three professions is close to 95. I would say most of the engineering professions are subjected to pro rata arrangements. Very few of them are not. Now, before we go ahead with the cost breakdown of Australian immigration, I would just take a minute here and would just try to build a background in relation to Australian immigration. Now, guys, Australian immigration is a business, which is essentially a case with other countries as well. But with Australia specifically, it is way too expensive. Many of you guys would have gone online and would have seen that 189 visa costs roughly $4,000 at the moment. But trust me, the overall cost is much higher than that. $4,000 is nothing. That's literally not even half of what you would end up paying to Australian government if you are pursuing your ambitions of living in Australia permanently. Why I'm saying that? That's because currently Australian immigration is based on a formula which is migration through study, or migration via study. Because the cutoff points of accountancy, IT, and engineering are so high that if you are offshore at the moment, by offshore I mean if you are not in Australia and you are in the country where you are living outside of Australia, from there if you are trying to move to Australia on permanent residence, then I would say that's near to impossible, because while being offshore, you would not be able to achieve 95 points. Now, why I'm saying that you would not be able to reach 95 points while being offshore? Because while you are offshore, you will not be able to enroll yourself in professional year. You would not be able to sit NAATI exam, and these two things would help you get more 10 points, like 5 points for professional year and 5 points for NAATI. And in order to reach 95 or 100 points, I would say it's pretty necessary to do NAATI and professional year as well. Now, we'll go towards the actual cost now. What would be actually cost if you are looking to move to Australia permanently? Now, 189 visa fee at the moment is $4,045. So what I would recommend you guys is to take out your calculators, so you would know what would be the grand total. And as you guys are going along with me, you would keep having track of the actual cost as well. So the 189 visa fee at the moment is $4,045. And if you are an engineer, you would be having your skills assessed with Engineers Australia. And if you are from Pakistan, India, Nepal or Bangladesh, chances are that you will be applying for skills assessment via competency demonstration report pathway. Now that pathway would cost you roughly $800. So let's add 800 more. Now that will cost you $800, and if you want to get your skilled experience assessed as well, then again you would be spending on top of that roughly $360. So what I mean by that is, if you have done at least 3 years of your if you have worked in your nominated occupation with an employer which is based outside of Australia, and if you have been with that employer for at least 3 years, then you can get 5 points. But for that you will need to get that skill or experience assessed with Engineers Australia, and fee for that is $360. So let's add further $360. Now if you are applying for competency demonstration report pathway for your skills assessment, the chances are you will have your application fast tracked as well, and for that you will be paying additional $305. So let's add $305 again. Now next thing is, if you are doing your skills assessment yourself, that's fantastic, but if you are taking any external help, then it would at least cost you between $700 to $800. So let's add $750 here. Okay. Now next thing is health checks. So for health checks, it will cost you between $300 and $400. So we will add $350. The next thing is Ielts exam. So with Ielts, obviously with engineering, accountancy and IT, the cutoff points are 90 or 95. So your aim would be to score minimum of 8 in each of the part of Ielts, and if you're very lucky, you will end up getting those bands in your first attempt, but on average it does take at least 4 to 5 attempts before having 8 bands in your pocket. So what I would do at the moment, the cost of PTE or Ielts exam is 385 Australian dollars. So what we will do is we will multiply 385 by 4, and that would come out to be $1,600. So let's add $1,600 on average that you will be spending on Ielts or PTE exam. Next thing would be your police checks. So if you have been in Australia, you would be applying for your background check with Australian Federal Police, and that certificate would cost you $42. So let's add $42. And now if you obviously have been outside of Australia, so you will be asked to get a police check from your country of origin as well. So what I would do is I'll just randomly add $25, but that amount can vary depending on which country you are from. So let's add $25. Now next thing is the arrangement of documents. Some of the documents would need translation, or some of the documents would need some sort of attestation. So what I would do is I would just, as a miscellaneous, add additional $50 here. Okay, now that comes out to be roughly $8,400, but that's not it, guys. That's because if you are onshore, which would be the case. Now, in order to achieve 90 or 95 points for engineers, most of the engineers, IT professionals and accountants, what they do is they get themselves enrolled in professional year. For engineers, professional year costs approximately $15,000. For IT professional, it costs roughly $12,000, and for accountants, it costs approximately $10,000. So what I would do is I would add $15,000 here, because I'm an engineer myself, and I did my professional year back in 2017, and it did cost me $15,000. So I would add $15,000 in my bill. Next thing is the NAATI exam. Obviously, in order to achieve 95 points, you cannot just sit back and wait for your EOI to be accepted. What you want to do is to stand out, and how you can do that is to boost your points. And for that, you will certainly be sitting NAATI exam as well. And NAATI exam roughly costs between $500 to $800. So what I would do is I would add $800 here. Now that comes out to be roughly $25,000. That's the total amount that you would be spending in order to attain your permanent residence with Australia. There would be many other costs as well, because you might be sitting Ielts or PTE exam 8 times or 9 times. And also, if you are going to take any help from the agent as well, the agents would charge roughly, or at least $5,000 to $8,000 if you are in Australia, and if you are in Pakistan, that would cost you around 400,000 or 500,000 rupees. So add that on top of the already calculated amount, and you would see the Australian immigration or permanent residence would cost you minimum, if you are an engineer, IT professional, or an accountant, it would cost you minimum close to 2.6 million to 3 million rupees. Or if I have to quote Australian dollars, that it would cost you minimum of $25,000 or $26,000. So that's the actual cost, guys, that you will be paying off, and this is the cost excluding what you have already paid to Australian universities. So as I have already told, Australian immigration works on the principle of migration through study. So that's how it works, guys. Therefore, what I would say is, if you really want to move to Australia, get yourself enrolled in those courses where there you can get your permanent residence in or on 65 points. But if you are planning to move to Australia on a student visa, and you are going to study in Australia in relation to IT, engineering, or accountancy, then you are making the biggest mistake. Because what would happen is that you won't, not only you would pay university fee, but beyond that there would be additional $25,000 or $26,000 that you will be ending up paying to Australian government. Therefore, guys, please make your decision very wisely. Go to Australian immigration website over and over again and gather as much data as you can, because that would help you to make a decision of yourself which will be right for you. Do not go to agents, because they would tell you things which you want to listen. They would never tell you that getting permanent residence is an impossible task right now. They would always tell you that it's easy. Go to Australia on student visa and pursue your ambitions when you have reached Australia. But my recommendation would be, if you are planning to go to Australia on a student visa and going to study in relation to IT, engineering, and accountancy, then you are better off going to some other country, maybe to Canada. But if you really want to go to Australia, I would recommend doing the courses which I mentioned to you guys in my last video. Make sure you have watched that video. I have told which courses can lead you to permanent residence in much cost-effective manner as compared to getting yourself into universities and doing engineering, IT, or accountancy. So that's it, guys. I thought I'll share my experience with you guys, and all I want is to gather or take benefit out of my experience and make a right decision for yourself. Thank you so much for watching the video. Certainly I'll make more videos in relation to Australian immigration so that you would have a pretty good idea what you are getting into. Thank you so much for watching again, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye bye.